Managing waste in the UK is a major issue that needs to be addressed. From food waste to recycling, from incineration to composting, there are lots of different ways in which waste needs to be managed. 225 million tonnes of waste was created in the UK alone in 2018, with the construction and demolition industries creating the most, producing around 140 million tonnes. 27 million tonnes came from household waste, from items like packaging, paper and cardboard, glass, plastic and food waste, whilst food waste is also a growing issue. Estimates suggest that each person in the UK will throw away 15 to 20% of food that they've bought, which can cost around £800 per family per year. The UK has developed a number of different methods of waste disposal in order to manage our growing waste issue. Landfills are where around 45% of the UK's waste ends up being buried. But there's so much waste that the more than 500 landfills across the country will be full in the not-too-distant future. Incineration is where waste products are burnt, with the energy being used to heat water or generate electricity. There is the issue of pollution with many of the older incinerators. Recycling has increased dramatically, particularly between 2000 and 2010, but recently the rates have slowed to less than the EU target of 50%. Biffa, a waste company, has said that people are confused by unclear labelling on items and that this leads to issues with sorting and collecting, making the process of recycling difficult. Although the UK wants to recycle 65% of all waste by 2035, it's only around 45% at the present time, with low investment into recycling plants being an issue. Better labelling and more recyclable packaging would certainly help. Composting has been a firm favourite of gardeners for many years, where food and garden waste can be composted down to help improve the condition of the soil. Anaerobic digestion can also be used, where microorganisms break down the organic waste to produce both fertilisers and methane. The methane can be used to generate electricity. Although the UK recycles a lot of waste, in 2018 the UK exported most of its plastic waste, as well as 4.5 million tonnes of paper and 9.5 million tonnes of metal. China imported the most plastic waste for recycling, but stopped the importation due to contamination issues. They will now only import waste that is completely clean. As a result, more plastic has been burnt, dumped or put in landfill, leading to increasing levels of pollution and some serious health issues. LICs and NEEs now no longer see themselves as just dumping grounds for the contaminated waste of HICs. A sustainable waste economy is where the system is more circular than linear. A linear system sees raw materials being used in the production of products that, when used, are thrown away as waste. A more circular system would see products such as paper being recycled to make new paper. A system like this reduces the amount of waste that would otherwise be incinerated, creating pollution or sent to overflowing landfill sites. This means a reduction in waste of raw materials whilst making our environment safer. One way that waste can be disposed of is through incineration. A proposal was made by Amy, a company who provide waste treatment and collection services near Waterbeach and Cambridge. The company was already running a waste management park near Waterbeach with composting, landfill, biological treatments and recycling from the area. The company was concerned about the large amounts of waste going to landfill, around 200,000 tonnes each year, a process that's both environmentally unfriendly and expensive. An alternative strategy was needed before landfill space ran out, and that could help provide energy from burning the waste. A new incinerator would be monitored by the Environment Agency, creating 300 new jobs through construction and operation. The new facility would handle up to 250,000 tonnes a year, and by burning up to 80% of the waste that currently goes to landfill, electricity would be generated for around 63,000 homes. There are contrasting views about the development of waste incinerators. On the positive side of the argument, in Lincoln, the £125 million incinerator not only creates energy for 29,000 homes, it's also processed over 1 million tonnes of waste. Roads have benefited too, with the ash created from incineration being used in road construction. Landfill sites have seen a 92% drop in waste, which has been good economically, creating a saving of £91 per tonne in landfill tax. However, Others see the incinerator in Lincoln as creating more air pollution that not only increases CO2 levels and damages people's health, but reducing the need for a good recycling strategy. Too much recyclable waste has been burnt instead of being recycled, wasting raw materials. Amy believe the incinerator, to be built on the site of their existing waste management park next to the A10, is the best solution for Cambridgeshire, bringing jobs for locals and green energy for the area. With a growing population, they see the need for new investment to cope with the rising amounts of waste being created. Their arguments were that the plant would be within the existing site and near the main road, so no additional roadworks would be needed. They also argued that the existing landfill capacity was getting close to full, so the incinerator would be needed to deal with the waste, rather than transport it elsewhere. Ash could also be put into landfill, taking up much less room. The hope was that this could lead to improved recycling rates, while strict environmental guidelines would be adhered to in order to protect the air quality. Amy saw the plant as a sustainable development, creating an efficient way of getting rid of waste whilst generating both electricity and wealth for the local community. It would lower the carbon footprint, with fewer pollutants being released than those coming from landfill sites. The company also stated that they would landscape the site to lower visual impact of the development. Some local residents don't see things quite the same way, with many viewing the development as an eyesore, dominating the surrounding, mainly rural area. The huge building, dominated by an 80-metre chimney, damaging the aesthetic of an already pressured rural-urban fringe, and dwarfing buildings like Ely Cathedral. Massive amounts of waste would also be needed from a wide area, leading to a significant increase in the amount of traffic on the already busy roads. The pressure group, Cambridge Without Incineration, were also very concerned about how close the incinerator site was to the new town of Waterbeach, on the site of the old barracks. Air pollution was also a major concern for the residents in the area, with bad, harmful pollutants and dangerous ash being created. Many also argued that incineration would lead to less recycling and more waste being created. Locals see recycling as a much better way of dealing with waste than incineration, and are frustrated that they bother to separate their waste only for it to be burnt for energy. Even the Council for the Preservation of Rural England objected to the scheme, imploring the council to look for alternatives. Eventually, the government rejected the proposal to build the incinerator in June 2020. Waste needs to be managed in the UK, and councils will have to balance the need for efficient waste management with the needs and wishes of local people.